David, my first question to you is that we have the Ashes now. We have it this season, and although Australia have a more or less settled team, but there have been a lot of calls to bring in new faces, new players, and all. And with the way in domestic cricket, we have the likes of, say, from Victoria itself, Fergus O'Neill, and a lot of new faces. Do you think that for the Ashes, Australia should try out some new faces, some new blood, or should they persist with the team? And if yes, then any new faces you would like to see in the squad?
Yeah, great question. So first and foremost, it's hard to replace the current group of players because they all perform so well. Like for example, all the bowlers, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Nathan Lyon, they're all Hall of Fame bowlers. So even Scott Boland, his record is incredible. So it's hard to actually get into the team. And those three quicks that I just mentioned, they're incredible. So if they want to keep playing and they keep performing at that level, it's hard to break into that team. But I think you'll find over the next 18 months to 2 to 3 years, I think you'll find there'll be some fresh blood um, definitely selected, like the Fergus O'Neill, who's definitely earned the right to play for Australia with his domestic Sheffield Shield record. With in terms of the batting, I'd like to see young players like Campbell Kellaway, Oliver Peake, Harry Dixon get a game after they've earned the right to play for Australia with good solid performances in Sheffield Shield cricket. And I think that's where the selectors are heading. So I think you'll find the first 4 or 5 Shield matches will determine who the makeup of the Australian Ashes team against England coming up. And I hope Marcus Harris. He's still very, very young, still knows his game very well. Had a great county cricket season at Lancashire. I hope he gets an opportunity through the weight of runs, and I think if he does get the opportunity again, he'll represent Australia with pride and dignity.
Right. Thank you. And my next question to you is that as far as the Big Bash League is concerned, Melbourne Stars managed to get Roff back. And we have a lot of Pakistani players that will be playing for the Big Bash this time, like Babar Azam, Rizwan, and Hassan Ali. So, in your opinion, do you think that the fresh new Pakistani players, Pakistan faces will now lead to more engagement and more people watching the Big Bash League, since there are a lot of people from Pakistan in Australia, and with the amount of popularity they have, do you think that Pakistan cricketers can now ensure that Big Bash League is the, like, it gets better and more popular?
Yeah, well, the cricket played in the Big Bash last year was exceptional. It's gone to a new level again, and I see the Stars. They lost the first, I think, 4 games, and then they come home flying through on the back of Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis's captaincy. And for one, I was rapt that Harris Ralph has actually been there's going to come back to the Melbourne Stars. I was fortunate enough to coach him in one of his first years, and he was just an amazing person to be around. Very infectious personality, and the number one quality he has is that he competes every time, and it's not too dissimilar to Mohammad Rizwan for the Renegades, who I think will be a standout player. He's world class, and when he's on song, there's no better entertainer in the world. So. Babar Azam at the Sydney Sixers, I think he'll be exceptional. And don't forget Shaheen Afridi as well, who's arguably one of the best left arm bowlers, left arm quicks throughout the world. So yeah, it's great to see these Pakistani players coming through and playing in the BBL. They all compete and they all want to win, but they're all also good quality people that yeah, just make the clubs better in the BBL, and the standard of the cricket play will go to a new level. And for one, I can't wait for the BBL to start.
Yes, likewise. And my next question to you is that as far as Australian cricket is concerned, Steve Smith had recently retired from one dayers to prolong his career in tests, and he also wants to play the 2028 Olympics, which will be in the 2020 format. But Steve Smith's record in one days is actually very very good, and in the T20I side, Australia are more or less settled. So, do you think that Steve Smith made a mistake in retiring in one days and wanting to play in 2020s, or should he have left to 2020s to play more one days?
Yeah, it's a it's an interesting debate. Only Steve would really know what he wants to do with his cricket, and I think he's prioritised Test cricket, which is fantastic. He's, I reckon, in the top five Australian batsmen of all time in Test match cricket, and he deserves to go out when he wants to go out. In terms of one-day cricket, I think Steve would have sat down with the Australian head coach and selectors and um, figured out a plan, a timeline. Am I going to be part of the next 50 over World Cup? And if they had said no, well, let's finish up and get some games into the new and younger players coming through who could be the next foundation of Australia's World Cup tilt. So I think Steve was very selfless there, putting Australian cricket ahead of himself. And yeah, I still think he's got a lot to offer in the T20 game. A, not only his experience, but B, he's also a fine cricketer, especially at the top of the order. His BBL record for the Sydney Sixers is remarkable, incredible, and he just keeps improving every year. But also sees he's got a great cricket brain, so therefore he's going to help a lot of people in that aspect.
Right, right. Thank you. And my next question to you is that it's actually this question is about you. So in the 20, so as far as the Indian Premier League is concerned, you have played a lot for Punjab, and then in 2014, when you were a part of the commentary panel, you were then called to play for CSK as a replacement for Dwayne Bravo, and you actually performed very well in that season. I still re remember in the I think in the playoffs against Mumbai Indians, you and Suresh Raina also played well. So, if you can just describe your experience in that one season in 2014 to play with CSK. I mean, everybody speaks about how MS Dhoni and Fleming often keep the environment very well. And there was one match where MS Dhoni made you ball the last
Yeah.
over as well. So how was it to play at CSK in that season with MS Dhoni and to play with someone like Suresh Raina, who at that time was at his peak?
Yeah, they're fond memories actually. I was commentating at the time, and then yeah, get the call. Can you come and fill in for Dwayne Bravo from a good friend Stephen Fleming, who's the head coach. And my brother was playing at Mumbai Indians that year, so that was his yeah year. He wasn't part of CSK or the CSK family, but getting the call, I don't know, just made me motivated to do really well for a new team. And you walk into the dressing room and you see greats like MS Dhoni, Suresh Raina, Jadeja was in the room, Brendan McCullum was also in the room. So we had some Mohit Sharma, who I got on really well with, Ashwin as well. So we had a really good nucleus of some fine players. I remember the first game back, I think it was against Bangalore, and I was on a used pitch up at Ranchi, and I didn't bat very well, but MS gave me the ball in the last gave me made me bowl the last over to Yuvraj Singh and AB de Villiers, and just defending 10 runs, and it was terrible. I bowled awfully and cost us the game. But what I remember from that is CSK family, every time they play, whether they win or lose, everything's exactly the same. It's very calm and cool. And right, where do we or what can we learn from the game? Where can we improve? And right, how are we going to improve? So it was a very cool, calm, and collected dressing room. And then just spending I don't know, some dressing room time with MS Dhoni, just asking him different questions about how to play certain situations. I know I was getting older at that stage and it's probably at the back end of my career, but he still had wonderful advice for me, and something that I really pass on to the next generation of Australian players, and hopefully that I can help them achieve their goals of playing for Australia or in the IPL as well. But Suresh Raina, like you said before, he was at the peak of his powers, and I remember that game against Mumbai Indians in the I think it was the eliminator at that stage,
Eliminator.
and yeah, I think my role in the team was just to get him on strike because he was seeing the ball like they were water balloons, and they were huge, and every time he hit the ball, it either went for four or six. So yeah, it was an absolute privilege to play with the CSK family and some of the great players I've just mentioned.
Thank you. And I have thank you. And I have one last question to go. So in that season, in the second qualifier match against Punjab, you all had a huge total to chase, and Suresh Raina scored 87 in 25 balls, and was then run out by George Bailey.
Yep.
So in that match where CSK came so close and you all lost a very close match and which had so many emotions in it, how was the dressing room after that match? Like, did Suresh Raina show any kind of fr fr frustration or anything?
It's hard to remember initially when Rayner got run out because I think I was the incoming batsman, so we I didn't see him in the dressing room, but I do remember that he was playing out of his skin and he was going to win the game by himself. It was a huge target to chase. I think Saywag got a lot of runs, and I think every time we bowled, it either went for four or six again, and small ground, fast outfield. The ball seemed to be travelling miles, and it was a huge total to chase. I was still pretty confident that we could chase it down. We had McCullum, we had MS Dhoni, we had Rayner, Jadeja as well. So we had some good players coming in. I think Agent Smith as well. I think he was playing Faf. So we had some really good players. Yeah, so I was still supremely confident. Yeah, I remember at the end of the game is I didn't bat very well. I got out for under 10. I think it was under five even. So, and I remember after the end of the game, we're all pretty disappointed because we felt that we had the team and the squad to actually go all the way that year. And unfortunately, we didn't play very well and yeah, didn't score the runs. And the dressing room was a bit quiet, a bit flat. But yeah, it was right. What are we going to do next year, and how are we going to win the trophy next year? And I think that's the strength of CSK. They never get too far ahead of themselves, never get too down on themselves. They're always very well planned. I think Stephen Fleming runs a great show, and he's complemented with MS Dhoni, who's a master tactician, a great player, and he's still doing it today. It's fantastic to watch.
Right. Thank you. And with this, I have got all the answers, and my interview is done. It was an absolute pleasure to speak with you, David, and thank you so much for being here.
Absolute pleasure, mate. If you need anything else, just send me a link and I'll jump on, okay?
Of course, done for sure. And now that the cricket season will start now in Australia, and I think now as we speak, New South Wales are playing a match right
Yeah,
now. So
they're
I
playing
look
Tassie.
forward to meeting you in one of the matches too.
Absolute. Sounds good. Cheers, Arvin. You take care.
Thank you. You too. Best of
Cheers, mate.
luck.
Bye.